I think if there's anything that the Lord has taught us through our years in the ministry is really understanding His desire to use us to impact lives for eternity. Not so much that we would be exalted, but that ultimately He would be exalted. When a young man started coming to our church named Pablo, his friend had invited him to come to youth group. Shortly after that, he got saved and just began growing in the church, began serving in the church, and he began to show a desire for ministry. And I can remember when he spoke with me after one of our camps that God had called him into the ministry and that he was willing to surrender and sacrifice everything to go in the ministry. When Pablo made the decision to leave the university and go full-time in the ministry, of course that meant that he would face a lot of backlash from his family, and it got to the point to where they almost kicked him out of his home. It started out like that, but he stayed faithful in that decision, graduated from our Bible college, and began to pastor. And now it's amazing how his family loves that he's in the ministry, brags on him in the ministry, is faithfully attending the church where he's serving in the ministry, and they think he's the best pastor and has the best church. Now Pablo's been pastoring for a little over a decade, and the Lord's tremendously using him. We've seen him grow tremendously in the ministry, also seen him be able to reach many people that he's been working with and he's been discipling that are now even considering going into the ministry themselves. Fast forward a few years from that time that Pablo was reached at the beginning of our ministry in our first church. When we started our third church, I can remember that a lady that was coming to the church brought two young teenagers, a young girl and her brother, and probably the first week that they were there, the young girl named Yesenia got saved. Our oldest daughter was able to work with her and disciple her. But it was probably close to a year after that time that Yesenia gave a testimony one service. She had lived in a home where her father was an alcoholic, was not really part of her life that much. Her mother left them at home for days at a time. And it came to the point where her mother basically told her that she could no longer live in the home, that she would have to find a place to live, and basically kicked her out. When all that happened, it so impacted her life that Yesenia had made the decision that the following week she was going to commit suicide. If she hadn't been brought to church, she would have committed suicide. And she told how thankful she was that this lady cared enough about her to bring her to church, that she was able to hear the gospel, her life had been changed, and even now Yesenia is faithfully serving in church, and now she's discipling other young girls that sometimes face those same issues of maybe thinking about suicide or maybe thinking about giving up on life. It's been amazing to see how the Lord has brought us to this point in our ministry and all that He's done there in the country of Bolivia, how we've been able to see 4 churches started in our city, the city of Cochabamba, how we have a Bible college that's training men for the ministry, how we've even seen men go out of our ministry and are pastoring other churches in other cities, and how that even right now men are being trained that in the future we'll be able to go out and reach different communities with the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. And all this fruit is a result of seeing people take those small steps, basically caring about people, being willing to share the gospel with them, being willing to disciple them and invest in their lives and see them grow to the point of being able to do the same with other people. And the amazing thing is to realize that this is not something that we can do, but it's something that we should do. And not only missionaries on the mission field, but this is something that we should all be involved in around the world, reaching people with the gospel, investing in their lives, and seeing how God can use even you to impact the life of someone for all of eternity. We just want to say that we're so thankful for all the churches that have partnered with us these last 19 years. It's because of those faithful prayers and giving that we've been able to see these lives impacted for all of eternity. We want to encourage you. Maybe you haven't personally seen someone's life impacted in that way, but all it would take is you being surrendered to the Lord and being willing to follow those small steps that we mentioned, being willing to care about people, share the gospel with them, and invest your life in them to see their life changed. And for those of you who have been faithful in helping others and reaching people yourselves with the gospel, we just want to encourage you to not get weary in well-doing, because you might not realize it, but all the sacrifice and everything that you do to give, to help, to pray, and then to personally help reach others will truly make a difference for all of eternity.